Hello, welcome to another live English lesson with me, teacher Zdenek, and one of my students from the Achievers Chamber Discord group, Monika. Hi, Monika.
Hi, Zdenek. Hi,
Do you
everyone.
recognize me?
Yeah, because I am participant of your another course.
Yeah.
Uh,
Which course?
this hair English through board games. It was
Role
not
plays.
role plays.
Yeah.
Yeah. And yeah, so I can recognize you easily.
Yeah, because basically I bought a few cheap wigs like this one. This was this is one of my favorite, and I used it to record my videos for that course. Yeah, it's some kind of scripted dialogue. Basically, each session of the course has a scripted dialogue, and to make it interesting and to make it clear that because obviously I'm the only actor in that dialogue, so I have to play two different roles to make sure that each person looks a little bit different. I bought all these wigs, and now the participants of the session, the participants of the course, will see me in a wig like that each different session. So that's it. So for you, it's nothing special, but for some people might be wondering, what on earth am I doing here? Do you know why I'm wearing the wig today, Monika?
Honestly, I'm not sure.
Because I can't remember the last time I washed my hair, and it's too greasy, and I don't think it looks good on camera. But when it comes to wigs, you don't have to wash them really. So
Okay.
I think you don't. I don't know. I don't use them as that often. So
I think you don't need to wash them. Yeah.
I don't think. Well, you don't wash dreadlocks anyway. I think. Do you?
I'm not sure.
I don't know. I've never. Yeah.
I've never. Yeah. Had the dreadlocks, so
Dreadlocks. This is called dreadlocks. In case anyone is wondering. Typical hairstyle for, let's say, Caribbean people, right?
Caribbean and maybe African people.
Yeah, some. Yeah, sure.
Some.
I think it's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's popular in Europe as well.
Doesn't really fit. Doesn't really fit my facial hair because it's brown, but this is kind of black. But you know, it is what it is. I guess at least I look a bit different. Hi, Helen. Hi. Good to have you here. So, Monika, you're one of the members of the Achievers Chamber Discord group. So, happy with your membership?
Yes, I am.
Yeah, so you sometimes join the events and the lessons and all that, and you have the option to be one of my faces of these live lessons, which only members can get. But if you don't want to do this, we have some members who refuse to participate in these YouTube lives, and I understand why. Like, it's not for everyone. Yeah. You don't have to. Nobody's gonna force you. I didn't have to force Monika, right? Monika, you came by yourself, right? You didn't need any convincing, and yeah.
Honestly, I did need a bit of convincing because you know why? one person to watch it. So
But I didn't intimidate you or anything like that, right? I didn't blackmail you or anything like that. When you say I didn't need any convincing, when you say I did need convincing, that doesn't mean that
you are blackmailing. Not at all.
No. Okay, good. Glad to hear that. So, apart from all that nonsense that I have started the lesson with, I mean, it's not all nonsense. It's part of what I have to do. Yeah, I am an online English teacher now, so I have to let people know what I'm offering as an English teacher. I offer one-to-one classes. That's my premium service. But there is also an option to join my Achievers Chamber Discord group, which I think is very cool. And you will find the link to the description of. You will find the link to the details in the description of this show. I don't know how to do this. It's getting in my. Oh, now I'm alone. Monika has left us. I hope she comes back soon. I'm struggling with all these dreadlocks because wait, Monika, you are calling me on Discord. I think Monika accidentally called me on Discord, but she has to join through the link because I'm using StreamYard, and here she is. Hi, Monika. Welcome back. Welcome back. You are calling me on Discord. I was like, whoa, what's going on? Yeah. So apart from all that nonsense that I have just started the lesson with, Monika, how are you?
I'm fine, thanks.
Good. Do you know what I want to talk to you about today? I've noticed you've been less active recently. I know why. I know why. I know you're busy these days because you've got a mission. You are on a quest to do what? Tell us about it, because I think it's really, really cool what you are doing these days.
Yeah. I can't just sit.
You're too humble. You're too humble.
In the
Tell us.
Sit at home and doing nothing when I see what's going on in Ukraine, and
Yeah.
I have to do something about it. I have to help the refugees. So I'm going to the border, picking them up, bringing
Which border?
The Ukrainian, Polish, and Ukrainian Slovak border.
Oh, okay. So you because as we know, you are a professional driver. Yeah. So if anyone can do that, you can. And so do you take your own car, or how does this work?
No, I need to rent a van.
A van.
Van, because I can pick up more refugees. Yeah.
You rent a van. So how big is the van?
9 seats, including the driver.
9 seats, including the driver, which is you, obviously. So you don't let anyone else drive your van, right?
I try not to, because I want to pick up as many refugees as possible. So I want to have all the 8 seats to be free, to be for the refugees. Yeah. And as you know, I'm a professional driver, so one of a few things that I'm able to do is to drive a lot of kilometers. So I can do it on my own. I can go there, pick them up, and bring them to the Czech Republic.
Are you always taking them to the Czech Republic, or do some of them ask you to drive them somewhere in Poland or Slovakia?
When I was there first time, the refugees asked me to bring them to Berlin.
Oh.
And then...
Did you do that?
Yes, I did.
Okay.
Why not? But I didn't know how things worked there in Berlin, because I was ready to bring them to the Czech Republic. So I needed to, look up a lot of information about what to do in Germany. Finally, I managed it. I brought them to the main train station, where there are a lot of volunteers there waiting for the refugees, and they take care of them. They accommodate them. They feed them. They apply for visa with them. So that was fine.
So are there more people like you? This is great. So
a lot. I was really surprised. There are, I would say, I'm not afraid to say, thousands of volunteers from many countries. Mainly, most of them are Polish.
Okay.
Some of them are Czechs or Slovaks.
Yeah.
And I've met there even volunteers from countries like Spain, Portuguese. I don't know the pronunciation.
The country is Portugal, yeah, and the nationality is Portuguese.
Portuguese.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Portuguese. Portugal is the country.
Mm-hmm.
Portuguese. Mm-hmm.
You know, French people.
Yeah,
Germans.
that's amazing.
People all around Europe.
Honestly, I think this deserves so much respect, Monika. I'm lost for words. Like this is incredible. I can't imagine how many people you must have helped. But this is not your van, so you rent the van. Rent the van.
Yes, it is. I don't have my own van, so I have no more option.
So this is not funded by anyone. You pay this from your own money, don't you?
Huh?
Wow, that's incredible. That must cost so much money because the fuel is more and more expensive as well, right?
Mm-hmm. That's right. We all struggle with money, you know. All the volunteers. It's a big problem. Like,
do you know, Monika, what I find? Do you know? Can I tell you something? Mm-hmm. Why is it that it's usually the people that don't have money, or the people that I'm not saying you don't have money, but the people that are like not rolling in millions? Why is it that these people want to help the most? Why is it? do you find that it's sometimes like that? That
not sometimes, but most of the times, I would say.
Well, why? That's crazy.
It's about, I see it as, you know, it's about people's personality. When you want to help, you can never keep a lot of money just for yourself, even if you are able to earn it. Yeah. So usually those people who want to help don't have much money because they, use it.
They spend it. They spend it. It's like a vicious circle.
Yeah.
No, I know what you mean, but it must be. Well, you are helping, so of course but it must be so rewarding for you too, right? It must be rewarding to see like really sort of grateful people, right? You have to meet grateful people all the time. So tell us what it is like.
It's rewarding. I need to say it. Yeah, it's not. There is a little bit of selfishness in it from my side as well, because
I'm sure it's not selfishness. Honestly, it's.
I want to feel that those people are happy, that those people are getting feeling better and safer, and it's thank me, it's not that.
But I think it's natural, Monika, because it's also kind of like gives you that feeling of, oh, I've done something good, like honestly, I every week I go there to Poděbrady because we have got maybe 300 400 refugees here, and there's like a place where they keep clothes and food, and there's some volunteers working. It's like a building, and then they can come in, the refugees can come in and ask for things there, like there might be some if they need clothes or whatever they need. And I always go there once a week, and I ask them, hey guys, what do you need? I'm gonna buy it for you. And it's food. It's always ketchup for some reason. They always want me to buy ketchup, so I bought a lot of ketchup. This week I bought ketchup, tea, and someone asked me for milk. But I have to be honest with you, I understand what you mean by that, because I also, every single time I do it, I'm proud of myself. I'm like, yes, I've done something good, and this is going to help someone. You know what I mean? Like it's interesting, this, isn't it?
It is. But how to say this? I've never talked about this in English, but the best thing, for example, I can do is to do it without expecting this feeling of being proud of myself. Once I expect this feeling, I want to feel like this. It's not as pure as it should be. Yeah, you know what I mean. That's why I was talking about selfishness.
I think it's not selfishness. I think it's just the way we are human beings. It's just.
Yeah. So that's why it doesn't deserve so much respect, because that's.
It does, Monika. Come on.
Thing
you know how many people don't do anything? There are so many people who do absolutely nothing.
I know.
People that don't give a damn about this.
Or worse,
Yeah.
people who don't want any refugees to be here, to come here.
Yeah, but let's be honest, that was our country too. I want to say this. Yeah, there is a bit of like something strange happening here, because in our country we used to sort of turn down refugees from the Middle East when there was a war in Syria. This is a heavy subject to talk about, but let's not beat around the bush. This is what happened here in this country. There were some quotas from the European Union, and we said, no, we don't want any refugees from the Middle East. So
who said it?
Who said what?
No refugees from the Middle East. Those were our politicians. Not people.
Those were our politicians, but these politicians were voted in by Czech people. We have democratic system in our country, and they wouldn't have been. And one of the things they used to say in the campaign, in the political campaign, to be voted, in the parliament, before the parliamentary elections, was that they don't want refugees. They want, it's. I don't think you can take the blame away from ordinary people. I know what you mean, that it was the government deciding that, but I don't think you can take the blame away from ordinary people either. Try to speak to people here in this country, and they will tell you that they don't want refugees from the Middle East here. It's as simple as that. But it's different with the Ukrainians because, and I have talked about this many times, and I agree there is a bit of hypocrisy in this, that we don't treat, it's a human life, it's human beings. It should be the same. But it's different for us, for Czech people and Polish people and some other countries too, because we are able to empathize with Ukrainians more than anyone else, because I've talked about this many times on my other podcast, on the Czech podcast as well. We have been living under the Soviet Union. We were not part of the Soviet Union. We were an independent country, but were we really independent country? There was censorship here. There was persecution. We were only allowed to vote for one political party. If you wanted to achieve something, you would have to be in the party, in the Communist Party. They would take stuff from successful people. They would confiscate things. It was a terrible time to live in, and it led to our economic downfall as well in these countries of let's say east of Germany, the countries east of Germany. Why is it that we are not economically as strong as Germany or France or Great Britain, or haven't been for a long time? It's better now, but it's still not the same. Why? Well, because of 40 years of communism here.
I agree.
Yeah, no freedoms, like the things that they don't have in Russia now because of Vladimir Putin. Yeah, and censorship and things like that. And if you say something, you couldn't demonstrate. You couldn't say anything against the state because you would be facing years in prison, a sentence like I don't know how many years in prison, right? So we understand this, and we are empathizing with Ukrainians, and we are happy to help as well, because I think maybe we feel a little bit of guilt over not helping the Syrians. I don't know, but I think it's mostly empathy because of what we have been through ourselves. Maybe not you and me, Monika, because you are younger than me, but I was born in communism, but I barely remember it because it ended with the revolution when I was 6 years old or 5 years old or something like that. But we remember it from the stories of our relatives, and we still know the Czech mentality, and it's still in our DNA. Like the way we behave sometimes, it's really influenced by this. It was like 40 years of prison. Let's be honest. And it's we have a little bit of backward mentality, and it's hard to explain. But it's better now. Yeah, we are better. But yeah.
So the difference for us, and now I really I may be about to be on the thin ice right now.
Mm.
But when refugees from Syria were coming,
Yeah.
they were only men, without any children, without any women.
Yeah.
They left women and children in the war, and they went to Europe. And now men are fighting for freedom in Ukraine,
Yeah.
and
I
women
agree.
and children are fleeing Ukraine in order to.
No, that's a good point. That's actually a good point. It's different, yeah, because we can see they are really fighting. The war is still is really happening there, and their men are fighting, and they're risking their life and laying their lives in some cases. But their children and babies are sometimes the elderly are here. You're right, yeah. But the people that you drive from the Ukrainian border are mostly children and women. Is that so?
95 or more percent.
95 or more percent.
Guys, please, I'm not saying that men are not worth, picking up and bringing saving, of course.
And helping, yeah. But you're right, yeah.
But when just men are fleeing and they let or leave their families in war, what should we think about it? It's controversial. I'm not going to talk about it for a long time.
I think it makes sense. That makes sense, yeah. It does make sense, Monika.
And Ukraine is fighting for the whole Europe.
And also, like, it's we understand I know this sounds terrible, but we are culturally much closer to Ukraine than Syrians. But I'm still not happy we didn't accept any refugees, more or less. I'm still not happy about it. I was against it. I would have taken them. But I'm trying to explain why it is a little bit different for us, this. And I know as you rightly said, we are on thin ice. We are on a dangerous ground because we might be accused of being racist and things like that. But it's not as simple as people say. It's a very complex thing, very complex issue. And for me, the main difference is, this is what you are saying. I didn't even realize that. But for me, the main difference is that we can empathize with Ukrainians because we have been through the same thing before. Maybe not as bad as this, by the way. This is much, much, much worse. But we had to face this kind of regime. You know what I mean? We had to fight for our freedom. We didn't really maybe fight with our weapons as much as Ukrainians are fighting now. So in that, it's different. It's more, it's let's say, more intense, much more intense. People are actually dying. Well, here during communism, people died too, but it wasn't
in such large numbers.
But it was different, right? It was just, there was a decision after the Second World War that anything east of the Berlin Wall was under the wing of the Soviet Union, and anything west of the Berlin Wall was the West, right? So that's what happened, and then we just had to accept it. But every single time they were trying to reform something, or in 1968 there was a big movement to relax some of these strict what to call it, like laws or whatever. We tried to be more liberal here in this country. Well, Russians came with tanks. To Prague and started shooting as well. And we just gave up. We had to give up, and we just had to, put a stop to it, to the liberal reforms. So, yeah. Hagwan, Glady. Hagwan, this is Michael from Poland.
Hello.
Hagwan. It's, they say this, Hagwan, I think it's Hagwan. It's like, how is it going, or something like that. They sometimes use it in London too, like it's kind of language of this ethnicity. But I've also heard it in a TV show, Top Gang, a lot. Top Gang. It's a very is it Top Man? Top Man. Oh, sorry, not Top Gang, Top Man. And it's a TV show about like drug gangs and stuff like that. Very, very interesting TV show. Wagwan, yeah. Good to see you too, Michael. Arek is also from Poland. Top Boy, not top man. Top Boy, yeah, that's the name of the TV show. It's available on Netflix. I really like it a lot. It's a really cool TV show. Yeah, I'm not going to spoil it for you. Don't worry, Michael. Don't worry. Arek is also from Poland. In Poland, we have the same situation with refugees. Shamefully, we have been making some terrible distinction. Ukrainians are culturally closer to us. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, there is always, nothing is perfect, right? Nothing is perfect. But if you imagine, like, so many people, like, going to Poland, 2 million people, of course we want to help, but people are also thinking about their future. Yeah? It's also those that are very poor, for example, they are now thinking, oh my God, they are going to take our jobs. The taxes will increase. You know, there are problems. There will be problems. A lot of people will be scared of this, and they would be much more scared if these were like people from different cultures. But because when it comes to Ukrainians, the culture is a little bit different than ours or than Polish, but not so different. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And the language is quite close too. So they're going to learn the language faster. They're going to integrate faster. So I absolutely understand this point that Arek is making, but it's also shameful as well. I have to let's be honest. Yeah, it is not right, because it is a little bit xenophobic. Like, if not racist, it is a little bit xenophobic in a way that we only help some people. Maybe we didn't want to help others. But as you said, these are women with children, and
these are
definitely economic migrants. Definitely not economic migrants.
They are closer to us. They are just the border is just 700 or 800 kilometers from Prague.
Yeah.
They are achievable. I can go there and help them, but I can't go to Greece and pick up Syrians.
Yeah.
And another thing, it's easier to pick them up because all the governments accept those refugees. So it's easy for me to go even to Ukraine, pick them from there, and cross the border with them. And the police let me go. But in case of
because they don't need any visa right now, right? Or they are granted the visa just because of their nationality. Like, if they are Ukrainian, they are given the visa, basically.
And I can see one big problem in it. They are Ukrainian.
Yeah.
They need visa. But there are not only Ukrainian people in Ukraine.
Yeah.
Many nationalities. They are fleeing as well, and they have it. They are in worse situation as they don't have Ukrainian passport.
Of course, yeah. And also they look different. So, for example, if someone is, let's say, Black or African, and there are Africans living in Ukraine, of course, then they are treated differently.
Mm-hmm.
Because they don't have that luxury of getting the visa like the Ukrainians. And how are they going to prove themselves that they are also fleeing the country they have been living in for a long time? It's a complex thing, this, and it's not easy, and we just doing our best, all of us, right?
Mm-hmm. I was driving one African guy who lived in Ukraine, but he managed to cross the border. I wouldn't have crossed the border with him easily, so I was just waiting on the Polish side and praying for him, like, please cross the border. They have to let you go. Like, I was waiting there for like 6 hours, and finally he managed it. And picking up the others was very easy. It was like, well, those who had Ukrainian passport, it was easy.
Yeah, I can imagine.
But that guy struggled, or was struggling.
No, this is going to happen. Like, it's going to be. There are going to be consequences. But personally, because I'm open-minded, and I think it's all right. Like, I don't mind living alongside a lot of refugees. It's okay. it's absolutely fine by me. Like, I know there are people who complain about this and all, but you have to imagine what they have been going through, and we have to be there has to be some solidarity with them, and also like, they're going to integrate, they're going to learn the language, and they're going to contribute the economy.
Exactly.
You know, they're going to work here. They are not people who would just come here and want to take advantage of our welfare system. We have some refugees like that too. Some refugees like that exist. Yeah, and that's true. But these are not the kind of people. These are not them, right?
No.
So,
And what I've been thinking of all the time, I've been participating in this in those missions.
yeah.
We are, let's say, used to looking at refugees just as at someone who needs help. Yeah.
Yeah.
And we tend to, or some people tend to be afraid of them because they think that the refugees will just take everything.
Okay.
But we are, our nation, Czechs are getting older. We have just a little or a few children in our families. Some families have no children.
Yeah. Single, yeah. One of them. I'm not even married, so like, I probably should be by someone's standards. I should be probably married at this age.
Yeah,
so I'm not.
I'm not blaming anyone. I'm just.
There is space. You're saying there is space for them, and there, yeah. Is that what you're saying?
They, we are getting older. We have no or just a few children. How many women, for example, or even men, who are raising children without partner? How many of them are struggling when they have to combine, or both work and take care of the children? Prices of electricity and our bills are getting up. Are getting up, and a lot of us have one room to either rent or just provide to people in need for now. But they will get some money from our government at the beginning. Then they will find a job. They can help us pay those expensive bills. They can help us with our children. When we work, we can have someone to pick up the child from a kindergarten or from school. We don't
and
need
they will do jobs, and because they won't. Another thing is they can't speak Czech or Polish, right? So at first, unfortunately, even a lot of them will be very smart and well educated, and they will have university degrees. But unfortunately, because they don't speak the language, and I heard that most of them don't speak English either. So unfortunately, they will have to do a menial job. They will have to do a job that normally they wouldn't do in their country. Job that doesn't require any qualifications. Let's be honest. So, and we always need people to do those jobs because no one wants to do them usually, right? So I think we can help each other out here.
Yeah. Yes, that's it. They are not going to just take, but they are going to help us.
It's an absolute nonsense. They will definitely be a contribution to the society. It's just at first, the governments might have to increase taxes to take care of these people because we need to accommodate them. There's not enough families will take them on, so they will have to be accommodated somewhere, and someone will have to pay for the education, right? So they will have to start learning Czech. So yes, people will be worse off. We are already worse off because of COVID. It's gonna get even worse. Yes, there will be a crisis, but hopefully the war will end soon. and it's just going to be temporary. And then when, honestly, they're going to learn Czech after half a year. That won't take them very long, maybe even earlier than that. And then they will be a fantastic, citizens to have here. Citizens. What do I want to say? They will be fantastic members of the society, let's say. To have. I don't doubt that for a second.
But I think we need to talk about it a little bit once we are talking about it online like this. Even if I didn't want to, but I am trying to talk this way to my friends and people around me. Yeah, don't be afraid of them. They are going to bring a lot of things to us. They are going to help. They are going to,
Well, they will also be grateful. Nobody wants to imagine you if you run away from somewhere and suddenly people start helping you, start looking after you. You're gonna feel a little bit guilty too, because you're like, okay, I'm just taking, but what am I gonna give? So of course they're gonna be grateful, but the most important thing is that they need help. Yeah. So that's the bottom line for me. And some of them, when the war ends, some of them might go back, or some of them decide to travel further to the West. That's okay. But right now they need our help.
And another thing, they are not just Ukrainians who are fleeing. There are also Russians between them, and the Russians will talk. They will say that they are against Putin because they will feel safe.
They will have seen the war. They will have seen the war, and I know.
And you will see that not. You know that some people are that stupid that they. How to say?
It's only about stupidity, Monika, but it's sometimes difficult to even understand this, because it's such a difficult subject to understand. Like, people will not know. People don't know the difference. Czech people don't know the difference between Russian and Ukrainian language.
People here. Okay.
Yeah. No, go on. Sorry.
People here tend to think that Russians are on the Putin side. And they tend to blame Russians, and this is really dangerous.
Well, most of them are not really. Like, most of them living here, like the vast majority of Russians living here are not. At least now, because maybe before they were, but now they have seen the truth.
Yes,
they're living in a country where they can see, they have access to all the information they need, and they can compare and see what's happening in Russia and see what's happening here. So
yes. The Czechs tend to think that Russians are on the Putin side.
Yeah.
But the Russians who will come here, they will start to talk to us. They will report what's going on in Russia, what they feel like, and so on. And we are going to understand.
It's also dangerous because we don't know who is getting here. Yeah. So it could be some people. That's the problem. Yeah. So I understand our government that they don't give out visa to Russians anymore. I totally understand it. It's part of the sanctions, and you have to do that. Like, the Russians living here, no problem. Yeah, I have no problem with that, because they have been here for a long time. And like I said, the vast majority of them don't really support Putin. But I'm not sure if we should accept Russians, because how do you know if they support Putin or not? I think I'm sorry to say this. I know some of them don't want to hear it, but it's also kind of their responsibility to clean up this mess, because so many of them are just quiet and don't say anything. I know they are afraid. I know it's complicated. I know.
How can you?
But this freedom is worth fighting for. It's worth fighting for. Do you always want to live in prison?
No.
Do you want to live in a country where your currency, ruble, is going to be like 10 times, or I don't know how many times, 5 times less valuable than it used to be? Do you really want that? Do you really want to live in a country where you have censorship? You can't have Twitter, you can't have Instagram, and you don't have access to the Western media just because it doesn't suit the propaganda of your government, of your president? Do you really want to live in fear that just because you disagree with something, just because you are, I don't know, openly, do you want to really live in fear of not being able to say what you think?
Of course not. But would you say something if you were in such danger? If you were afraid of being imprisoned or even killed for nothing, you know?
I don't know. But if you do nothing, nothing is ever gonna change, and these people will still be in power. Look at North Korea.
Yeah,
someone has to. There has to be someone making a sacrifice. If nobody makes a sacrifice, I know there are people in Russia protesting. I know that, but it's like it should be everyone. You know, it's like the information should get to all people. And if you just run away from the problem, if you just flee your country, I understand it. It's difficult, this, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because it's
you can't fight against such powerful, you know.
I don't know what to think about this, Monika, because on one hand I totally understand what you're saying. On the other hand, I really think like
I agree with you, but
someone has to like do something. If no one does anything, if you just accept it, if you just stay silent all the time, nothing will change. So it's like I'm torn about this. I'm really torn about this.
Someone needs to help you in this case, you know. The sanctions should be against the powerful people, against Putin, against their government, against those oligarchs and the richest Russians that are kind of responsible for what's going on.
But those people, they have so much money that even if you depreciate their property, I mean 5 times or how many times, they're still gonna be well off. You know, it's always the poorest people that will suffer. That's the problem.
That's the problem. Yeah.
But you have to do this. If you don't do this, you will not make a statement. If you just stay quiet, if you don't respond in any way, you are sort of letting you're just letting Ukrainians down. Like there has to be this response. I know you will say that Russians are not responsible, but are they really not? A lot of them voted for Putin. Like this is the problem, yeah. It's like a moral dilemma, this, or I don't know what to call it, because on the one hand they are not responsible because maybe they didn't vote for him or the elections were rigged, but on the other hand, why didn't they get rid of him? How did they allow him to be the president for 20 years? A guy with psychopathic like tendencies. How can you let that happen? Like here, we wouldn't let that happen, would he? Would we? I hope not.
No.
I know we had Babish and like weird guys here, but then like after some time and also the constitution here doesn't allow you to be like the, let's say, president. I know I'm combining two different things, president, prime minister, but it's just different. The laws are like more democratic here, basically.
But they are, and that's why we can do something again about what's going on. And
I can have this live stream, and I will probably not be killed or poisoned or something. Yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah,
we don't need to make it public. Yeah, that this.
It is public. We are recording it live, Monika.
Yeah, but we don't. Yeah, now and just a couple of people are listening to us, but it doesn't need to stay on YouTube, does it?
I want it.
Feel good about it, because we are talking about such
people need to know what's happening, Monika. I'm sorry, but I don't care. That's why, like on my Czech podcast, I've recorded some interviews with interesting people giving their opinions. I've talked about this many times, and this is the least I can do, you know, just to say what's happening, to describe it as it is, and give my own opinion and ask other people for their opinion, you know. Unless you convince me to delete this stream, I don't want to.
Depends. It's up to you, Zdenek.
Well, why would I do that? I'm just saying what I'm thinking. Like, I'm just saying what I think, right?
Yeah, right. And we didn't say anything that bad, I think. Could you guys tell us if you think we are going too far or not?
With what?
If we are going too far.
With what, Monika? With what?
in our opinions, in the way we are talking about it. If people can let us know, those who are listening to it, if we are too controversial, if we are too if it's too much or not.
Why would it be too much? I don't understand. Like, what would we be saying that is not true?
Yeah,
there are facts. We have facts to back it up. There are facts there's evidence to back it up. We do have 2 million people, I don't know, 2-3 million people living in from Ukraine, refugees living in Poland now. Do we? Don't we? We do. That's a fact. That's a fact. That's not a made up fake news.
Yeah, of course it's not fake news.
So they are fleeing from somebody who attacked them, who invaded their country, independent country. So I don't know, Monika, sorry, but there's nothing controversial about this.
Okay. Well,
at least this part of maybe when we talked about the refugees, yeah, but I think we were trying to offer a balanced argument, I think, right? Anyway, this is a tough subject, but I think I just can't help exploring it on my podcast, and I can't help talking about it with my students. It's just something we talk about all the time these days.
I've been thinking about nothing but this for.
Tell me about it.
Yeah, and I can't. I have to do something. I just go there, pick them up. But I would do nothing without the others. It's like a lot of people are involved with this. A lot of people, I'm just the one who takes them here, but the others accommodate them. I find them, those people who are willing to accommodate the refugees. I contact them. They accommodate the refugees. I try to find them a job. Those people who accommodate them do the same. We all try to take care of. In this my social bubble, we all are trying to help them somehow, and it wouldn't work. Just one person wouldn't do it all. It's impossible. Like, it's about cooperation between a lot of people willing to help, and I think this is what Putin didn't count with.
Didn't expect
that we can be such united people, Like,
absolutely,
talking a lot right now, all those sanctions.
He lives in his palace, and he has no.
And he won't stop fighting. He won't stop attacking Ukraine. What a fool he is!
I would use stronger words. I would use stronger words than that, Monika.
I am used to trying, use soft language when speaking in English. If this was in Czech, I would definitely use stronger words. But in English, I think those words are strong enough for English-speaking viewers. Yeah.
I think people understand where we stand. I think people know where we stand.
Yeah.
Alex says we are not being controversial, but he also says
boring human beings.
He also says we are normal, boring human being. Speak for yourself, Arek. I'm not a boring human being. Speak for yourself. Look at this hair. How can this be boring? Come on, man. I know what you're trying to say. Don't worry. Yeah, so I guess that's where we will leave it. It was a bit heavier today.
I wasn't expecting this to happen.
I was going to talk to you about this, by the way, Monika, here or on my podcast. It was always going to happen. So thanks for being open to it. And I wasn't focusing on the feedback so much, but I've written down a few things so we can quickly go through it. Because that's the second part of these live English lessons. If this is the first time for you watching, then this is a real lesson. It's based on a conversation with my student. It's not prepared at all. It's just an improvised conversation that people would normally have. But it's a lesson too, because I make notes as I talk to my student. And then in the second part, I go through the feedback and we explain the language and so on. I didn't write much today, as you can see. So dreadlocks. Yeah, dreadlocks. That's the hair. That's the hair I have today.
Mm-hmm.
This is a wig, by the way. That's not my real hair. If in case any of you were thinking this is my real hair, it's really not. It's just a wig. Okay. Monika, what's the difference between these two?
Portugal is a country and Portuguese are people.
Yeah, and also it's the language. Yeah, so Portuguese is the language. They speak in Portugal, people speak Portuguese. The stress is on geese. It's interesting, right? The last syllable is stressed here. Portuguese. Yeah. Portuguese, like Chinese, Vietnamese, Portuguese. It's very similar. Okay. What's wrong with this, Monika? What do you think?
Yeah, I'm going to get on thin ice or on the.
Yeah, you just have to delete this the definite article. It doesn't. Idioms are they are a trouble. Yeah, you need to remember them exactly. Otherwise, they are fixed expressions. Some of them contain the article, some of them don't. The reason there is no article here, in my opinion, is because ice is an abstract noun. Yeah.
Okay.
And there's no reason for you're not talking about any specific ice. It's I think it's better if you don't explain it. You just remember it as a chunk of language. To be on thin ice. Yeah, so it was almost correct. You just have to lose this then you said they are achievable. I can go there and pick them up, because you were talking about the fact that the Ukrainians are not so far from us, right? And you said they are achievable.
Reachable. I wanted to say reachable. Sorry.
Yeah. No need to apologize. But it's a great opportunity to explain the difference. So what can be achievable?
A goal.
It's a word, by the way, very similar word.
Achievable could be a goal, or a target could be achievable. You can.
That's a fantastic collocation. So you achieve your goals. If your goals are achievable, it means they are realistic. Yeah, you can achieve them. And reachable, it's more physical. Like achieve, it's more like abstract, and reach is more physical. Like you can reach the people. The distance is, it's not far. Yeah. How would you pronounce this verb, Monika?
Combine.
Very good. So which syllable is stressed?
Bine. The second.
Exactly. Well done. Yeah. Then you said electricity prices are getting up.
Electricity bills, or the prices are getting up? I write it, or?
I think best would be the price of electricity. The electricity bills, I guess you could say, and the price of electricity
is getting up.
And my problem is also this verb here.
It's rising, or?
Absolutely, you can say rising, but also I think it should be going up.
Going up.
Yeah, I think it's the right verb, to go up.
That's something I learned wrong.
I think so. I think the prices getting up. No, the prices are going up. Up. And this is what Putin didn't count with. I think this is a little bit of Chinglish, I'm afraid, Monika.
Count on?
Yeah. You could say count on something. But I think here just use the verb expect.
Okay.
Yeah, I guess you could say count on in a way, but definitely not count with. I would go for expect. It's the easiest way to say it. Anticipate. You could say anticipate as well. Come on, Arek. Come on.
I should think.
I shouldn't sing anything. I shouldn't sing anything, Arek. if I start singing here, I guarantee you people will start unsubscribing to this channel. So I don't want that. Okay. Glenn seems to like it too, but no thanks. Wait, Glenn, you're my follower from the other YouTube channel. You listen to my Czech podcast, don't you? I think you do. I remember you from my other YouTube channel. Okay, guys, thank you very much for watching the stream. Those of you who didn't make it live, you can leave comments under below the video if you want. As always, please give us a thumbs up. Monika, fantastic job today. Great English. Very, very high level indeed. And yeah, keep it up. And thanks for helping those Ukrainian people. I think it's and I'm going to teach you a nice word. Commendable. You know the word commendable, Monika?
No. Rewarding?
No. Commendable means like it deserves respect. It deserves praise. It's like praiseworthy. You know, praiseworthy. You know the word praiseworthy?
I do.
Okay. You know, it's deserves a lot of respect. Yeah, because not everyone can do that. So thank you very much, everyone, and we'll speak to you soon. Bye, Monika.
Bye, Zdenek. Bye, everyone.